let's be real here. Who all has done ecstasy or Molly? Thank you. I appreciate your honesty. Me too.
I love Molly.
Thank you. Okay.
I dated Molly.
So not many of you have done it. The ones who have done it, even you guys might not even know exactly the difference between Molly or ecstasy, and I assume the rest of you don't, considering you haven't done it. So today we're going to be covering what it is, the effects, and the difference between the two. Now, what is it? The National Institute of Drug Abuse defines it as a synthetic drug that alters perception and mood. It's chemically similar to stimulants like nicotine and Adderall, and it's also similar to hallucinogens like LSD and other fun things like that, and shrooms as well. So ecstasy itself is made of MDMA, which is this powder down here, but the ecstasy is pressed into that pill, and that pill doesn't exactly stick together if it's just the powder. So ecstasy is normally cut and mixed with other kinds of drugs. That's where a lot of the danger of ecstasy comes from, is you don't exactly know what else is in there. They can throw anything they want in it. But what are the effects of just MDMA? Some of the adverse effects of pure Molly, listed by rollsafe.org, are considered dry mouth, anxiety, feeling of cold, your loss of coordination and balance, jaw clenching, and sweating. You've probably heard, Papa Molly, I'm sweating. Yeah, you're no sweat. I personally can tell you the great effects, such as increased happiness, rapid speech, a feeling of euphoria, and loving absolutely everyone. There's no one I could have hated when I was going wild. Now, some of these effects, they're great, all right, but there's a come down after. And when you're on the drug, there's a sudden flood of serotonin in your head. Now, once that's gone during your come down, you're gonna be so sad. Serotonin makes you so happy and so going and ready for life that once all of that extra is taken away, you're gonna hate it. And that can explain this phenomenon called Suicide Tuesday, where people typically take it on like a Saturday night, and by the time the come down really hits, it's Tuesday, and they're so depressed. I can vouch, I was very sad, so I didn't come here one day. So these effects can be quite different with ecstasy instead of Molly though, because like I said, ecstasy has other drugs in it, so that just increases the not knowing. So yeah, we've been talking about the difference, and as I said, ecstasy is cut with other drugs as opposed to Molly, which is just the pure MDMA powder. That's normally put in a capsule like shown. Maybe you don't have a capsule, ingest it in any way. I literally licked it off a table. So if you're gonna do this, you should probably stick to pure MDMA just to avoid the unknowns. There are test kits available to make sure that you're actually doing that, and they're on things like Amazon and testkitplus.com. So now that we know what ecstasy and Molly are, what the effects are, and the differences, I really hope that you'll be very careful when using these, because the reason I chose this is a friend of mine recently opened up about an awful experience that resulted in death because they didn't know what was in the ecstasy. So I hope that I've informed you today on how to properly be careful if you're gonna go a little crazy with some drugs.
Are you endorsing this?